So you're really enamored with this person, and I do feel that this is somebody you've been dealing with for quite some time. I do feel that for this month, if you are in a relationship with this earth sign person, I do sense that you're going to have to go through a period of reassessment to see if this relationship itself is completely balanced, okay? There is also, with the death in the reverse position, and a lot of changes, a lot of transition happening around you, but with the death in the reverse position, it indicates to me that you're not willing to let go. Okay, so there is a relationship that is supposed to be very transformative, or at least there is supposed to be a transformation of a significant relationship in your life right now with an earth sign, possibly also with a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, and you're not heeding the warning signs, and you're also not willing to let it go as well. Okay, I do feel that there is an element of imbalance in the relationship. Okay, imbalance. So this is basically one party giving a lot more and than the other. In terms of emotional fulfillment, I don't feel both parties are equally emotionally fulfilled in the relationship. The Four of Cups coming on very early in the spread indicates to me a lack of emotional investment. It's a card that indicates boredom. It's a card of taking things for granted. But also, like, if it's between two people, I do feel that it is a relationship that is very, very close to running its course, okay? So this is something you want to be careful about. And I do sense as well, when it comes to relationships in general, two people who are not committed, it can indicate social dating, okay? It can indicate a lot of options opening up, and as a result, both parties are not committed 100% to one another, especially like in an exclusive relationship. So this is something you want to keep in mind as well. But I do feel there is a significant relationship, and it's starting to run its course, and the signs are showing up. So even though it is financially secure, even though it's somewhat like it doesn't involve a heavy emotional investment on both parties, and both parties are okay with it dragging on, I do feel it is coming to an end. You're not emotionally fulfilled anymore, and you're not completely 100% happy in this situation anymore. There are definitely, imbalances in give and take that I'm sensing here. And at the same time, there is some type of anxiety induced as a result of being in this relationship. So a lot of you might be tempted about, stepping out on your current relationship partner to associate yourself with somebody else. And you might be associating with, one partner leaving your life, which might be like an earth sign, and another person coming through, which might be a water sign. For those of you who are single and dating, I do feel that in terms of romantic prospects, you're not feeling completely satisfied, okay? There is definitely a little bit of a humdrum energy where you're feeling bored. And you might be going through the motions of, dating around a lot of people, possibly getting into a physical relationship with a lot of people. And it is leaving you very unfulfilled, okay? So my advice is, for this month, focus on your financial situation, stabilize that. And I do feel that in terms of financial abundance, we start out with the King, we decrease to a 9 and then a 6. So this is something you want to keep in mind, of how much is going out, how much is coming back in, okay? Because you start out with a huge chunk of money, and it is like spent on frivolous activities. It is given out to other people. It's spent on luxury goods. So this is something that you want to keep a tight rein on when it comes to financial, an emotional response to spending, okay, because of this sense of dissatisfaction. So I do feel that there is some inner work that needs to be done for you for this month. And I do feel that that overall sense of passion, that joy of living is kind of not in the spread. So do whatever it is, whatever creative activity that you defer to, whatever hobbies that you have, shelved because, life was busy. And in the process of getting through the everyday, minutia of getting your finances in order, interacting and dating other people, you might have left a creative activity on the back burner. So it's really important to re-inject your some passion into your life And you can do that on your own. You don't need another person in the picture to help you through it, okay? So keep that in mind as well. It seems to me as if you're looking back at a past situation, you're missing something in your life. You feel like you're missing. I feel like a lack of emotional happiness, fulfillment in this spread, okay? Based on the 3 reverse cups cards, and also based on, all the pentacles showing up. So it's kind of like, you feel like you're making a sacrifice. 1 minute financially you could be, on top of the world, but then love is lacking. And then there are times where, love is in abundance. You might have that very, very stable relationship partner, but finances are lacking. But for this month, it is, finances are definitely on the upswing for you. But I do feel love is something that you're nostalgic for. There might be a situation where you encounter a Mr. or Mrs. Right, okay? It doesn't have to be an earth sign, but I do feel somebody from your past. This is you looking back at the past and corroborated by the Death card, in which you're not able to move on. You're not able to move on with your life. You're not able to look forward and, move on with your life. So I do feel that there is a situation in the past, or a person that you were once very, very emotionally fulfilled with. You both saw eye to eye, and it was the Mr. or Mrs. Right in your life, okay? And in the process of going through, the motions with dating and with trying to get your career in order, and whoever it was in your past didn't care how much you make, okay? And you let that go. And I do feel that moving forward here, you're making a lot of money, but you're feeling very empty and dissatisfied because the other person is no longer in your life, okay? If that is a situation and you feel that you can go back to it and rekindle and, try to give it a second round, I do feel that it would be in your best interest, just so you can get the closure that you need. However they respond to you, it doesn't really matter, because it feels as if you're still really emotionally invested in that person and you want the closure. If you need the closure in order to move on, then yes, definitely go back and, do that for yourself. Create that opportunity for yourself to get some healing and to get some closure so you can move on with your life. I do feel there is a significant person from your past that you're still pining over, that you're still not ready to let go of, even though you know that it's not going to work. I do feel for a majority of you, for sure it's not going to work. We have the 9 of Swords, which is indicative of worries and anxieties. We have the 9 of Cups, which is, a wish that is not fulfilled. So this is a wish card, but it's not fulfilled. In terms of the balance in the relationship, I do feel that in that past relationship, it was pretty balanced with the 6 of Pentacles. In the present situation, you have all the financial abundance that you want, but the relationship partners or your romantic prospects are not measuring up to whoever it was that was in your past, okay? And I do feel this is like one of those far away pasts where it might have been like last year, it might have been the beginning of the year, and you're just having such a hard time moving on. So, we do have Mercury in retrograde coming through for September. So it's notorious for exes coming back into our lives, okay? So if you are pining over the one that got away, I do sense that you have an opportunity here to reconnect, but I do feel that the other person has moved on, okay? The way the cards are falling out, I do feel that, the King of Cups is in the reverse position. Page of Cups also in reverse. So I do sense that if you were the first person to withdraw emotionally and that ended the relationship in the past, then the other person has moved on and they've given their cup to somebody else, is what I'm sensing, especially if you have been involved with a water sign. Okay, so what's coming through for you in terms of new love prospects is potentially another water sign, but also an earth sign. So this is something that you might want to invest in. Just invest in your future. Don't keep looking back and pining over the past, okay? We do have a lot of good energies that are helping you as well on the financial front, but I do feel that more than anything, it is a good month for you to focus on your income generating potential, and to leave exes and people like that, and just romantic encounters on the back burner, because I do feel that you're not going to be emotionally fulfilled if you're just dating anybody. You want somebody who's not even in the picture. And I do feel that they could have potentially turned their back on you a few months ago. You know, like you're pining over something that happened like the beginning of the year or even last year. And you had a lot of time to go back to them. But I do sense that a lot of you, you know, that person is out of your life. And I don't feel that they're even in your geographical location or in your spatial environment anymore. So it's a little bit disheartening, and I'm very, very sorry for the grim reading. But I do feel, you know, on the plus side, you have new love, you have new potential prospects, but you're not looking at them realistically. You also have an opportunity here to meet Mr. and Mrs. Right. And it's coming on the heels of death. So that means you have to let one thing go in order for the universe to shuffle around and give you, you know, to bring something new in for you. Okay. So I do feel new love coming on the heels of you letting go of that past person. I do feel overall a lot of financial balance and financial investment opportunities coming to fruition as well. If you had taken risks with your money in the past, I do feel that you're going to get a huge financial windfall. Okay, the Nine of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles indicates financial windfall. The Nine of Pentacles indicates to me somebody who is financially secure, who is potentially self-employed. So you're going to come across an energy in your dating environment of somebody who is very financially secure. You yourself might be financially secure, and so you're meeting your match. And this is what I mean by a Mr. or Mrs. Right. And it's only going to come in because you have let go of the person from your past. Okay. I also sense here, if you are involved with somebody new for this month, I do sense that they might be attached with a child, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I do sense that this is something that might not disclose up front. So then later on down the line, you know, 3-4 months later, you get serious, and they're like, oh, by the way, I have a child. So this is something that's not discussed up front. I don't feel they're purposely hiding it, but it's just something that slipped their mind because they're so career focused. Okay. If you are involved with a water sign, I do feel that this is an ex coming back here. Another Cancer, Pisces, or a Scorpio. An ex possibly circulating back into your life. Nothing has really changed. So needless to say, it's not going to work. So don't pine over it. Don't distress yourself over, you know, wanting to prove yourself by working hard at this relationship, because I do feel even though it's circling back around, it's not going to work. Okay. So be very careful about that. Honestly, just spend the rest of your month, bury yourself in work, and take care of financial payout. Okay. Be careful about overindulging as well, you know, drinking, partying a little bit too much, and being neglectful of your financial situation. I don't feel a lot of you are in dire strait when it comes to finances, but I do sense that there is a possibility of overindulging, or at least burying yourself in work and then overindulging in wine to drown out your sorrow, or to just, you know, you might have trouble sleeping, and you might, you know, have a glass of wine, have a nightcap before bed. And I do feel that it can escalate. Okay. I also sense for a lot of you who might be involved with somebody that has a drinking problem in a family situation, or you yourself are prone to this, be very, very careful for this month in general. If you are getting like inkling that that you need alcohol in order to function, you need a nightcap in order to sleep through the night and not be, you know, not be haunted by your dreams or whatever it is. I do feel that there is a situation where you can become dependent. Okay. I have the Nine of Cups reverse, King of Cups reverse, Page of Cups reverse. So I do feel that this is something that is hereditary. It's also something in the bloodstream. So this is it just tells me that there is a greater probability that somebody can be dependent on alcohol. They're not able to overcome it. They're very stressed out at work, and they might resort to alcoholism, or, you know, just excessive drinking in order to fill in that void, okay? So this can be you, and it can also be somebody in your midst, but I do feel that this problem is going to definitely surface for this month. So be very, very careful. Um, we leave like mental health issues or even dependency issues to counselors, okay, so people who are trained. But I do sense that if you're dealing with somebody like this who is a loved one, you really need to intervene, okay? I do feel for a lot of you, it might come from a male, like a father figure, an uncle, or somebody like that, somebody who might be like a mentor to you, or somebody who is very prominently in your life as a father figure. So it could be an uncle, could be like a stepfather or a biological father. I do sense an element of some hereditary traits coming through with the king and the page in the same suit. So you want to be very, very careful. Check your family history, okay? Some type of distress is coming through the bloodline as a result of like something transmitted like hereditarily. So that's something you want to keep an eye out for, okay, Cancers? So protect yourself. And also, I just want to say, focus on the work environment, because that's where you're making a lot of traction, and that's where you're getting a lot of strength, and that's what's going to help you through this month, okay? Use work as a distraction if you need to. In terms of love, I do feel that for those of you who are single, there are definitely romantic interests, but you're still, not in the right frame of mind to date, I feel. For those who are in stable relationship, I do feel that there might be some dependency issues with, alcohol that might come through for a lot of you. So just make sure you are open and supportive, but more than anything, get some counseling, okay? Because this needs to be handled by trained professionals. For those in stable relationship, I do feel that work is going to be quite demanding. So you or your partner might not be on the same page when it comes to spending time together and things like that. But either way, I do feel the drinking coming through very, very prominently. So I want you all to be careful about that situation and, seek proper guidance and counseling, okay?